Whoa, everybody. How's it going? Oh, let me move that a little bit closer. It's another sushi picnic, late night, post-work Fortnight of Terror going on. I'm a few behind, so I think I'm like 2 episodes on the Fortnight behind. That's bad news. So, I don't know. I might have to double up a couple days, which is, fucking whatever, standard. Just as long as there's 14 when I'm done, I'm going to be happy. And only, 7 people are actually watching this, so cheers! Anyway. So, it's fucking butt cold out here, too. Nice. A little breeze going. It's fucking like 40 degrees. That's okay. I'm here to tell you tonight on this, I think, 5th episode of the Fortnight of Terror. Yeah, 5th. That seems about right. About one of my favorite movies ever. I watched this today before I went to work, so I'd have something to talk about after work. Brian De Palma's classic rock Brian De Palma's classic rock opera, Phantom of the Paradise, right? So cool. Oh my god. And if you're looking for, on the Fortnight of Terror, like a Halloween movie to, have on in, the background of the party, or to, hang out with your friends and watch, or, I like to watch this about, 4 times a year. I watch it once a season, pretty much, and definitely in October, right around this time, because it's, the only rock operas I can think of that are, horror-themed, or, Rocky Horror. It's fucking good. Repo the Genetic Opera, which I hate. I'm sorry. There's so many fans of it around, but I just fucking... Ooh, I don't know. For some reason, I just fucking can't stand it. There's, I like the end of it. And there's, a song in the middle that I dig, but it's not, it's not my fave. No, I apologize. And also, anytime I bring up Repo Man, the Alex Cox, Emilio Estevez fucking movie about the alien in the trunk and car thieves and stuff, for some reason everybody thinks I'm talking about Repo the Genetic Opera. And they fucking start talking about that, and then, they find out I'm talking about Repo Man, and it's a bummer because they hate that movie. But they like the other one, and it's the opposite for me. And, whatever. Okay, we're not talking about that, though. We're not talking about my personal shit. We're talking about Phantom of the Paradise, and it's awesome. Okay? This is pretty much my favorite, rock opera. Rocky Horror is good. Tommy's good, obviously. People class Quadrophenia into rock operas, but I really don't. You know what I mean? I don't think it is. It has a good soundtrack, but it's just a fucking movie with a good soundtrack. Jesus Christ Superstar. Whatever. There's a lot of rock operas, is what I'm saying. They're all okay, but Phantom of the Paradise, I think, is one of, cinematically, it's on the fucking pinnacle of that. And, Brian De Palma is one of my favorite directors. People give him a lot of shit for, for just biting, Hitchcock, which he does. He's a Hitchcock fan, that's fine. You know what I mean? But he doesn't, he kind of wears it on his sleeve, though. He's not, plagiarizing Hitchcock. He's just, I like the way Hitchcock does stuff, so that's the way I do stuff, right? Awesome. That's fine. I love that. I love that shit. I love it when people do that. When they have, an obvious influence, and instead of just, but instead of, just fucking biting it, he builds on it. He does his own thing with kind of Hitchcockian, stuff, in his movies. And a ton of references to Hitchcock. But anyway, so Phantom of the Paradise, fucking awesome, right? It's about a guy named Swan, kind of. Well, first off, Rod Serling does the fucking, does an intro voiceover, and there's just this spinny picture of a dead bird, right? Super De Palma style. Super awesome. And, but, he's talking about, this guy, and he made, the fucking, rock and roll palace forever called the Paradise, because he's, he's, a musician and a producer, you know what I mean? He's one of those dudes. So, and then you jump right into this fucking thing, this marquee graphic on the screen, like how they have the little lights lit up on like signs, like in front of like old timey like music venues and stuff. Like, so every light bulb like makes like a letter, and it's just this Fountain of the Paradise. And there's these guys called the Juicy Fruits, right? And they're rocking out, and like the craziest way possible. Because they start out, it's cool. They start out as like this kind of fucking like teenage tragedy doo-wop like group, which is awesome. That's one of my favorite genres of music. Teenage tragedy is insane. It's all about like car accidents and suicide and fucking like people being in love and then they die in high school and whatever. So like they fucking start out with this awesome song, right? And like the plot kind of kicks in from there. The plot is pretty much this dude, he's a musician named Winslow Leach, right? Super good at his shit, but he can't like actually get into the whole like fucking inner circle of this like Swan guy. And Swan ends up like jacking his music and like framing him for all this shit. He goes to jail and he gets fucking like, he gets his teeth like fucking pulled out and like replaced with metal teeth, and he gets his face all fucked up because they're making him do like prison labor and shit, you know, like in like horrific places. They're making him like print records for like Swan's like record company and stuff. He gets fucked up, you know. So then like he escapes and he becomes like the Phantom of the Paradise, right? So it's kind of like Phantom of the Opera. It's a guy with a fucked up face and like this crazy like fucking. If you haven't seen this movie, the visuals in it are fucking intense, right? Like so good. Like he's just like the Phantom himself is just like he's got like a cape and a fucking like a helmet, like a crazy bird helmet, and just like this fucking like latex like form-fitting like diver's suit or something like that with like a little like modulator for his voice, like so he can have like a robot voice because his voice gets all fucked up when he's doing various things. So like he goes and like haunts this guy's club and shit, and like it's pretty much De Palma like wrote and directed this thing, and he pretty much like just brought in like all these fucking elements from like a ton of different movies like books, actually, not movies. Well, they're probably movies were made of them, but like, you know, he's got shit from Phantom of the Opera, like there's a lady named Phoenix, Jessica Harper, who is awesome in this and Suspiria and pretty much every other movie she's in. She's awesome. I thought she was the lady from for the longest time I thought she was Marion Ravenwood from Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it turns out that's a different lady who looks a lot like her. Anyway, Jessica Harper's rad, but like she gets like hired by Swan in like this weird fucking like orgy at his house and stuff, and it's like super fucking gloriously filmed with like full Brian De Palma fucking camera work like all the way, and it's just like kind of like this kaleidoscopic mix of like weird fucking like images, you know, like going on in this whole thing. And like Winslow Leach is all about her, and he like writes a song about her, and you know, she kind of becomes like the lady from Phantom of the Opera where he's like, oh no, he's like killing people so she can like do her thing, you know, being terrifying. But they also bring in stuff like, they bring in Faust, they bring in Goethe's version of Faust, because like Swan makes a deal with the devil to like be young and shit and like really successful all the time. And there's like a whole big thing about that. And then what else do they bring in? Picture of Dorian Gray. They bring in a ton of fucking shit, man. Like all throughout this thing, like a whole bunch of like weird kind of later gothic novels, you know. Super cool though. All the elements that go into it, and of course there's like a million references to like Hitchcock stuff in it, because you know Brian De Palma's all about that fucking life. So there's a scene in which the Phantom attacks this guy named Beef in the shower, and it's totally like Psycho, but he's just fucking hitting him with his plunger and screaming at him. And it's like trying to get him to like fuck off away from, you know, his music and stuff like that. And There's like a whole bunch of stuff's named after birds. There's like swan and phoenix and a bird mouse and like fucking there's a little bird on the death records, because that's what Swan's thing is, death records, right? So there's his label's like a little bird and stuff. So it's fucking the birds, obviously. Awesome. So yeah, man, that's pretty much what the movie's about. Like, there's so much fucking cool shit going on in it. Like, you can see the commercialization of the Juicy Fruits, like the band in the beginning. Like, as they go, like, out through the movie, like, they start out as this, like, teenage tragedy, like, fucking, like, 50s hair combing band, you know? Then they turn into, like, the Beach Boys in one scene, and at the end, they're, like, super theatrical, kind of gothy glam rock, and that's, like, that's my favorite, like, song in the movie, because, like, the one thing about this that doesn't add up to other rock operas is, like, it's fucking Paul Williams, right? Wrote, like, all of it, and I just do not like the cut of his jib. He's awesome, you know? He's, like, you know, technically good. I just don't like a whole lot of his music, you know? Because, I don't know. He's apparently super popular in the Philippines. And he's in it as Swan, which is cool. I really hope I'm getting his name right, man. Paul Williams. Anyway, but like a lot of the songs are weak for a rock opera. This is the only like failing of this fucking movie. Like cinematic, like plot wise, it's awesome. It's on point. It's fucking like beautifully photographed. It's morbid and weird and funny. You know, all the elements that I want like out of this movie are fucking in this movie. It's like it'll definitely make you uncomfortable, and it's definitely kind of like a gross kind of an experience, but at the same time it's super funny and like just goony and fucking really strange. Anyway, there's a few good songs in it though. The first song is awesome. It's talking about this guy Eddie who fucking like got famous and committed suicide so his sister could have an operation or whatever. This is fucking ridiculous. And then that one's good. And there's another one called Just for the Hell of It or something like that. And that one's good. That one's like the good Paul Williams. The good Williams vibe is going on in there. It's got like it's very like percussive piano and like kind of I don't know, kind of it's almost like a boozy kind of like delivery on like with the like people like slur and shit. You know, like it's hard to describe exactly the kind of music it is, but it's awesome. And then the last fucking scene in the movie, incredible. After the Phantom's like been running around, Phantom of the Paradise has been fucking running around fucking all these people up. Like this beef dude and the Juicy Fruits, right, have like a whole fucking like giant concert where like they do like this crazy kind of Alice Cooper-y fucking, but like way more glam, like fucking like performance where like Juicy Fruits come in and they're all fucking like dressed in robes and shit, and they're like killing people in the audience with their guitars and fucking like, or like, you know, like it's actors or whatever like in the audience because you're watching a performance of the movie, so they're not really, you know, but like they're like bringing up like limbs and shit, and they sew beef together, and they're fucking like singing this like crazy song. It's a little Bowie-esque, very awesome, and they fucking like start rocking out about it and everything, and then just fucking the end scene of this movie is Brian De Palma. It's shit. It's like I'm pretty sure they use that good old diopter lens. I can't like be absolutely certain, so don't quote me on that. But they do like these like weird deep focus and like fisheye lens shots of the fucking audience as like people are like actually being like killed on stage and shit like that, and like people are fucking like really like freaking out and like doing a whole bunch of shit because like the Phantom's running around murdering people and like there's actual death going on. Super awesome. Fucking love that movie. Best ending you could possibly hope for from this. But everything's super cool about it. Like there's a few like the underlying just like the lyricless like soundtrack to this is awesome because it's just like some synth organ and it's going on, but it's like 70s nasty, like, grainy synth organ, so it sounds fucking crazy. And it's just like, fucking, it's the Phantom being all fucked up from, like, prison labor and, like, being crazy with his metal teeth and his fucking, like, weird face, and he's just running around in the paradise fucking around, and he, like, eventually, like, starts talking to Swan, and he starts, like, figuring out, like, the whole deal with the devil thing, and it's just awesome, like, the entire way through. And you know it's not going to end well, and it totally doesn't, but, like, oh, fuck, man, I love this movie so much. I can't recommend it enough. Particularly, it's pretty, you know, and it has a sweet soundtrack. So, except for the actual rock opera kind of songs going on, there's only one or two good ones, as I stated. But, like, if you just want to have this on the background of, like, a party, it works for that. Because the visuals are fucking insane and intense. Or if you, you know, I like to just watch it by myself because nobody I fucking hang out with quite appreciates this movie as much as I do. Like, I often get drunk and ask people what their favorite rock opera is, and they're always like, it's Tommy, obviously. And I'm like, fuck, man, Phantom of the Paradise. What are we doing here with our lives if you're fucking doing Tommy or Phantom of the Paradise? But, yeah, man, if you want to go see, like, a good Jessica Harper's been in 2 rock operas. She's been in Phantom of the Paradise. She was also in Shock Treatment, the lesser known, less good sequel to Rocky Horror. Oh man, there's only one song in that I really like, and it's Oscar Drill and the Bits, when they come out and they sing that song about, like, being closeted gay or whatever, but it's, like, super kind of, like, punky garage style shit. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Phantom of the Paradise, which is fucking rad. You, this holiday season, man, before this turns out, if you haven't seen Phantom of the Paradise, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Watch that shit. But if you have, you know everything I'm talking about to be true, right? All of it's good. But yeah, so watch that. And this is episode 5, and I'm done. I'm going home because it's cold.